Hello there! We welcome you to a brand new year and a brand new decade here on Motoring Today, the Philippines' premier and longest-running weekly motoring news and features TV and online magazine. I'm Ray Louie Gamboa.
And I'm Susie Gamboa. Here are the week's features to watch out for. On Motoring Forum, we shall have the recently held Low Carbon Transport Forum. Our road safety reminder on the Young Street Smarts portion centers on the proper way of joining traffic in a rotunda or a roundabout. This week's Buying Chuper should be about the importance of using a seatbelt while driving. The public service segment shall have the progress on the lack of post lights in a bridge in Pasig City. Showcase this week shall have the compact sedan from Toyota, the 2020 Corolla Altis 1.8V Hybrid CVT. While for race weekend, we'll have the highlights of the 2019 Super Sprint Series Round 1 held at the Hacienda Designer Outlet, which we failed to show last year.
All these plus the latest news in transportation and traffic management, as well as developments in the automotive industry are in this week's edition of Motoring Today. Join us!
Dad, naflatan kami.
Dad? Dad?
You okay? Iwan mo na yan. Ako na bahala dyan. Let's go. Hatid ko na kayo. Tara. Excuse me? Let's go!
Thank you. You always have my back.
Have fun.
I will.
Suzuki all-new Ertiga.
Life is beating fast. Find what you're waiting for.
Seven-seater in style. All-new Ertiga debut.
Welcome back. Here are the latest news and developments in transportation and traffic management. In light of the recent issues on motorcycle taxis, a lawyer group said that Senator Coco Pimentel might run the risk of facing graft raps for endorsing a motorcycle taxi company to the DOTR.
In a press briefing held in Manila Hotel, attorney Trixie Cruz Angeles showed a letter written by Senator Pimentel to DOTR Secretary Arthur Togade endorsing Joyride as a participant in the initial motorcycle taxi test run that was ongoing at the time.
The reason it was forwarded to me is the possible violation of Public Act 6713, which is the Code of Ethics of Public Officials, which requires professionalism and for public officials not to even give the impression of irregularity in the conduct in their office.
Angeles added, while noting that Joyride's effort to use Senator Pimentel as a go-between to the department, particularly to the Secretary himself, exposes the Senator to a violation of the Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices Act. In turn, Attorney Ariel Inton of the Lawyers for Commuter Safety and Protection stressed that legislators have no business interceding for a private party that has application with a government entity.
11 pala yung nag-apply. Meron pa palang siyam. So ang tanong, bakit hindi nakakuha yung siyam? Yung dalawa lang ang nakuha. Just because may endorsement ng politiko? So we don't know. So, who Who are the other 9? Question, why were they not chosen? No, ano ang diferensya ng 9 dun sa dalawa? Yun, kailangan din natin malaman. Bakit? Eh, di ba competition tayo?
What we are against is the process. Okay? Because, syempre, kagaya ng ganyan, when the TWG was first constituted more than a year ago, ay ang daming mga stakeholders na involved. The LTFRB, LTO, even the CHPG was part of it, and then several cost-oriented groups were also part of it. And the reason for that is we want transparency pagdating dito sa mga ganitong mga bagay. Hindi pwede na isang ahensya lamang ang kumikilos, lalong-lalo pa pag ang involved dito ay yung riding public. No? So, public interest is at stake, and that is what LCSP is trying to protect. No? Na hindi pwede na yung gobyerno lamang or isang ahensya ay kumikilos na mukhang wala naman ding authority coming from the department itself.
Both Attorney Inton and Attorney Raymond Fortun called out some irregularities that, according to them, both the DOTR and the LTFRB were guilty of.
According to the government, the whole situation requires transparency, and that's why Senator Coco Pimentel is facing criticisms for endorsing Joyride, Angkas's main competitor at the moment. Meanwhile, related to our previous news, the LTFRB has made a statement that the ride-hailing service Angkas might face consequences following its recently staged mass actions with regard to the pilot run of the motorcycle taxi operations.
For taking alleged disruptive moves that may adversely affect on the ongoing motorcycle taxi pilot run, the LTFRB stated that Angkas will probably face consequences soon. These include the company's removal from the motorcycle taxi program as they violated the pilot run provisions set by the DOTR's Technical Working Group, or TWG. According to the LTFRB, Angkas violated the pilot run provisions by having an illicit operations of Angkas riders in Cagayan de Oro City without the authorization of the DOTR's TWG who are overseeing the experimental scheme. The agency added that on these grounds, it can also recommend to Congress that Angkas be blacklisted from the roster of ride-hailing services eligible to be granted a motorcycle taxi franchise in the future.
If you violate the guidelines, if you will not follow the guidelines, and if you are not covered by the technical working group, as those yung pinayagan ng technical working group, obviously you are violating not only the guidelines but the law.
The DOTR TWG will submit a final recommendation to Congress by April 15 or 24 days after the pilot run ends on March 23. After the scheme ends and prior to the passage of the motorcycle taxi law, the DOTR TWG will consider all motorcycle taxis as habal-habal or colorum units.
We had a period given for 3 months, so magdeterminate po itong study natin sa March 23. Then, based on the timeline we set for our final submission of report to the 2 houses of Congress sa April 15. April 15 po, then from there, bala na po ang Congress kung anong gagawin ng ating mga legislators.
In the meantime, the DOTR TWG is set to deploy mystery passengers who will report to the agency the violations committed by riders of Angkas, Joyride, and Move It during the pilot run.
We have, by the way, these mystery passengers. These are operatives of the technical working group. They will hail any motorcycle with hailing apps, and they will determine kung sila ba ay registered for this study.
Additionally, the undercover agent passengers will also be apprehending motorcycle taxi riders whose names are not listed on the official roster of pilot run participants.
Further tests and investigations are still ongoing regarding the motorcycle taxis as the initial pilot run was extended to 3 more months. Continuing, amidst the current issues between the app-based motorcycle taxi service provider Angkas and the DOTR Technical Working Group, or TWG, on motorcycle taxis, the former held a press conference in Makati City addressing them, and they gave updates on the extended pilot run.
In a recent press briefing, Angkas Chief Transport Advocate George Reyeca commended the efforts of the government for considering motorcycle taxis as an added transport option for the general commuting public.
I would like to commend the government for seriously considering motorcycle taxis as an added transport option for Filipino commuters amid the ongoing traffic crisis. We are also hopeful that lawmakers will find merit in what we have been espousing all these months and years actually, that motorcycle taxis are critical to addressing the countrymen's problems, our mobility problems.
Reca also noted that they have always been compliant with the government's rules and regulations towards the success of the motorcycle taxi pilot run.
Pakay po natin is makipag-kooperasyon sa mga regulators po natin para maging successful po ang ating pilota. So hopefully po we get to collaborate moving forward with government agencies for the pilot success.
In addition, Angkas emphasized that they are never against competition in the motorcycle taxi industry.
I would like to emphasize that even back then, I knew there will be new players as soon as motorcycle taxis become a subject of legislation and regulation. I have never aspired to establish a monopoly. In fact, I have done nothing but fight to have motorcycle taxis legalized and regulated, not just for the benefit of Angkas, but for the benefit of all service providers who will then join the industry.
Angkas also reported in terms of the service's safety record, Angkas riders had only 0.003% accidents with 0 fatalities, and that they have invested a lot in continuous safety trainings.
Angkas said that they are always willing to comply with the government's rules and regulations and are only asking for fairness. Its chief transport advocate also emphasized that they're fighting against the 10,000 rider cap and not with the regulators from the government. And finally, the MMDA has gained a new ferry for its Pasig River Ferry System, or PRFS, following the signing of a cooperation agreement between the agency and new telecommunications player, Dito Telecommunities.
MMDA Deputy Chairman Undersecretary Frisco San Juan Jr. said Dito's purchase of the 150-seater twin-hull catamaran and subsequent loan of the vessel to the ferry service marked the first time a private company joined the initiative to make Pasig River a viable transportation mode in Metro Manila.
This day is a milestone, no? Kasi nga, first private sector to join the initiative, to join the program launched by the Office of the President.
Undersecretary San Juan said the vessel would operate within the next weeks after the MMDA completes route planning for the new ferry and other requirements. Purchased from the Nautical Transport Service Incorporated, or NTSI, he said that 2 more of the same type of vessel would be added to the current fleet of the PRFS after other private entities pledged to help in the revival of the maritime transport network.
We want to prove a point na we can revive Pasig River. Okay. That's item number 1. Item number 2, just for your briefing also. Ang Nautical Transport Services, we have 6 of these ferry boats. Each boat has a capacity of 150 passengers. Meron tayong isa with the complements of Dito Telecommunity, and we will have another 2.
The vessel, powered by twin diesel engines capable of producing a total of 700 horsepower, is also air-conditioned for the comfort of its passengers, up to 200 with some standing passengers, with free Wi-Fi, a television, and is capable of cruising at 24 knots, which is about 44 kilometers per hour.
These boats were being used in the Sydney Harbor ferries. The boats have 2 Cummins diesel engines each. All are air conditioned. Each boat will have a TV set, Wi-Fi, and other features. You know, may toilet, may male and female toilet.
However, NTSI Chairman Jose Reyes Jr. said that the vessel would probably cruise at an average of 8 to 12 knots during operation due to terrain limitations and water conditions in Pasig River.
The MMDA said that the fair will be announced by the end of January as rides are still free until the 31st. Those are the latest news in transportation and traffic management. Coming up next is Motoring Forum, brought to you by Suzuki Philippines. Different transport organizations and groups have been pushing to help the environment by going electric. The government, along with other stakeholders, also has a program focusing on this. Through the DOTR, in partnership with the United Nations Development Program, or UNDP, the promotion of low-carbon urban transport system, or LCUTS, was recently launched in a forum attended by officials from government agencies, local government unit representatives, non-government organizations, among others. In this week's Motoring Forum, we have DOTR Undersecretary for Road Transport and Infrastructure, Mark De Leon, to discuss the project. In the said forum, it was stressed that the LCUTS in the Philippines aims to help promote and create an enabling environment for the commercialization of low-carbon urban transport systems, like electric and hybrid vehicles in the country.
This forum is about low-carbon transport for the Philippines. As we see, other countries has already started going electric. Meaning, for example, China and some European countries has already targeted that by a certain year, let's say 2040, 2050, they are all out electric. So now we're already preparing for any eventuality or any plans. No? We're planning now na the Philippines might want to consider as well going electric to really promote low carbon transport.
According to Yusek De Leon, the department is looking into having a clean environment in the country, and that will be achieved by going electric. And through the Low Carbon Transport Forum, the Transport Department will be able to study the impact of e-vehicles, incentives to users, standards, as well as regulations to make.
We want to really have a clean environment for the future generation, and one such option is to go electric. So these are the ones we're studying now in the DOTR, Department of Transportation, is to study the impact of going electric. What are the necessary legislation if we want to proceed electric? What are the necessary incentives so that people will accept electric? What are the necessary standards, regulations to implement and to draft so that we can go electric? So those are the things that this study is tackling now in this workshop.
He added that the said forum is also being done to address the impact of the transport sector in the environment. And this is by focusing on low-carbon transport solutions such as the use of e-vehicles, development of bikeways, cable cars, and projects and policies which promote clean transport options. One of the initiatives being pushed in the project is the PUV Modernization Program. As we can all notice, a number of fleets on the road are already electric. These have helped the government assess other important factors for the project.
Those who have already started going electric has given us good feedback, no? Because those who have already have been using electric are reporting lower power consumptions. In equivalent to fuel consumption, mas lesser yung kanilang power usage. It redounds to higher income because of their lower expenses. So a good report that we're striving is to really promote this technology.
Although the government is very clear with its intentions on going full electric, Yusek De Leon admits that it is not yet clear on when it is going to happen.
It will be part of the study, and there will be many factors to consider. So one would be the standards, the regulations, and all the rest that I mentioned earlier. So it's a multi-factor issue that we will need to address in order for us to really go full electric.
Aside from the PUV Modernization Program, other initiatives that are included in the project are the Motor Vehicle Inspection System and the promotion of non-motorized transport through the Metro Manila Greenways Project, among others. That was DOTR Undersecretary for Road Transport and Infrastructure, Mark De Leon. Our guest this week on Motoring Today's Motoring Forum, courtesy of Suzuki Philippines.
Suzuki all-new Ertiga.
Life is beating fast. Find what you're waiting for.
Seven-seater in style. All-new Ertiga debut.
Ano man ang marating, binabalikan pa rin. Ang mga unang pangarap, mga unang nakasama, mga unang aral, at ang unang naging gabay sa biyahe ko sa buhay.
Oh, Joshua, napauwi ka!
Siyempre, miss ko na first love ko eh.
Make more firsts with a Mitsubishi Mirage.
Drive your ambition. Mitsubishi Motors.
You are back with us here on Motoring Today. We now have this week's valuable motoring tips, starting off with some road safety reminders from Toyota Motor Philippines. When you're about to enter a runabout or rotonda, paunahin muna ang mga sasakyan na kasalukuyan ng tumatakbo dito. When it's already safe to do so, saka ka pumasok. Always be aware of your surroundings at huwag magmadali. More motoring tips for you here on Motoring Today. Proper driver's demeanor while behind the wheel from Mitsubishi Motors Philippines.
Payong super lang kaibigan, ako si Alejandro Patusa, isang kapwa nyo super. Huwag kalimutang magsuot ng seatbelt sa tuwing kayo ay papasada.
Gawing prioridad ang kaligtasan habang namamasada sa pamamagitan ng pagsusuot ng seatbelt. Siguraduhin maayos at gumagana ang iyong seatbelt bago mamasada. Huwag mo rin kalimutang paalalahanan ang pasahero na nakaupo sa harap na magsuot ng seatbelt.
Tandaan ang paggamit ng seatbelt ay isang epektibong pamamaraan upang manatiling ligtas sa oras na anumang aksidente. Ito po si Alejandro Patusa, payong super lang kaibigan mula sa isang kapwa nyo super.
Dad, naflatan kami.
Dad? Dad?
You okay? Iwan mo na yan. Ako na bahala dyan. Let's go. Hatid ko na kayo. Tara. Excuse me? Let's go!
Thank you. You always have my back.
Have fun.
I will.
Suzuki All New Ertiga.
Life is beating fast. Find what you're waiting for.
Seven-seater in style. All New Ertiga debut.
Continuing, we now welcome you to Motoring Today's World of Motorsports. We start with the latest news and developments. Here's the first of your weekly update on the latest news and developments in the world of motorsports. And it's the latest from Estefano Rivera, the breakout motorsports star of 2019. The year 2019 saw a number of local racers having a breakout year. One of these is Estefano Rivera, who has stepped up from his brother Milo's shadow to be a motorsports star in his own right. In the year where Milo only showed up at slalom competitions to cheer his little brother or to sharpen driving skills for the Circuit Racing Championships, Estefano has dominated the National Slalom Series to end the year as the Slalom King. But this didn't go easy for the reigning king as the title was wide open for everyone.
This year into slalom racing, there was a lot of competitors. Even si Milo, he tried to join once in a while, because he was more focused in circuit racing this year. So, yeah, it was very fun. The first races were very competitive, even towards the end. Actually, may mga bagong competitor from Cabanatuan. And sila Pawi Pases, sila Rochang, Jevoy, they've been doing slalom for how many years already, and they're really competitive and experienced drivers. So, it was really not just fun, but it was also a learning experience to compete with them, and it made me improve every race. Of course, there was pressure, but I also enjoyed the pressure because it motivated me to do better every race. Like, I wasn't really focusing on the championships. I drive it race per race basis, so I don't really think of the points or anything. I make sure I improve every race, and winning was a bonus.
Estefano accomplished the feat in his first full year of truly concentrating in the slalom in a car prep for him.
Well, I would assess myself as he did a very good job. Not just for me, but each race we're also improving the car, because this is the first year also of our Honda EG. Because as you know, for the past years, we've been using the Starlet in kay Milo. The classic Toyota Starlet na luma na pero nananalo pa rin. So this year, we wanted to try the Hondas naman, which is a lot easier to set up and a lot easier to bring in the track, because Starlet, you can't even drive it on the road. So it's the first year of the car, and of course I think it's my first year driving completely devoted to the season, because sometimes before I would miss a race, conflict just a Vios Cup or conflict with other commitments. So this year we were really 100% committed, and every race, not just we were enjoying the win, but we were enjoying also because we were improving also the car.
Aside from earning the Slalom King title, Estefano, driving for Team Avengers, outdueled Japanese champion racer Ryo Yamada of Team Clean Fuel Racing to bag the 2019 Formula V1 Challenge title. Estefano says he owes much of his achievement in the single-seater series to his coaches, managers, and mechanics.
It was very new to me because it's my first year in a single-seater race car. From Vios Cup to V1 was a big jump. But of course, with Avengers, knowing they're a great team with great people, great mechanics, I knew that my car would be very competitive, and we had practice sessions to make sure that I was able to adjust to a different car, because it's also, with contrast to slalom, it's a different discipline then, takbo niya. So all I needed was practice time, of course coaching and from my coaches, and eventually I was able to get that.
Estefano recalls all the 9 races versus Ryo, and the rest of the drivers in the Formula V1 series were very close.
So actually every race, me and him were just separated by around 0.1, 0.2 per second. So it was very competitive, and all I can remember was basta kailangan lamang ako sa kanya, like just to keep on my head and use all my racing experience.
In winning the 2019 Formula V1 Challenge crown, Estefano Rivera earned the chance to drive in a V1 race at Suzuka Circuit in Japan. He fulfilled a childhood dream to actually race at his favorite PlayStation circuit.
It was one of my dreams because as a kid, I was watching Formula 1 sa TV lang, sa Star Sports, at Lumapa. Watching sila Michael Schumacher driving in Japan, in Suzuka. It was like, wow, that racetrack, very, very nice, very technical. And after that, it was actually my favorite track sa PlayStation. One of the tracks I really play a lot. So it was really a dream to drive there, and to be competitive was just a bonus.
During that race, our local hero qualified and finished 5th in the race that had a 30-car grid composed mainly of seasoned Japanese V1 racers.
Everything happened really fast. There was not enough track time to get to know the track or to get to know more how to master the racetrack. So the first sessions were pretty good. We were really less than a second competitive to the fastest Japanese driver. So I was pretty happy with that, even my team, because first time na Filipino in the racetrack na competitive agad in the first session. Siguro nakatulong mga PlayStation ko sa Xbox. Yun, and eventually in time trial, I was 5th place. I was qualified in the top 5. Then the race, when it started, for the first 3 to 4 laps, I was battling for the top positions. Like the top 5, we were all in one single file. Because in Suzuka, it's very important, the slipstream, the draft when in the straights, you're following someone, so yung less drag, so nakahabol ka sa straights. So yun, it was very, very, for me, while I was there, like, kahit seryoso ako, I was very excited, very fun, but then I had to be focused also na, kailangan to be careful. And yeah, malas lang na around lap 3, I went to a spin, went back to 8th position, and eventually in the last 5 laps, I was able to fight my way back to 5th. So it was very, very a very fun learning experience. And, at least I know na as Filipino drivers, it would also bring pride to the country na kaya natin to drive in a world-class racetrack such as Suzuka.
In 2019, Estefano was also part of the Philippine contingent, which performed creditably in a number of legs of the year's Asia Auto Gymkhana Championships, including Korea and Taiwan legs.
In Korea, it was my first time, and to be honest, I really had a hard time adjusting because the tracks there were really tight, were very, very technical. Like, unlike here in the Philippines in slalom, umabot ng second gear or minsan third pa. Doon, it's all first gear lang, tapos steering lock palagi, left, right. So it was a new experience for me, lalo in the technical aspect. And I also learned a lot from the experience, from my team, Coach Ivan. It's also my teammates, who si Mark Bernales, won the event himself in Korea. So I really learned a lot from them. And well, Taiwan naman was a big improvement for not just for me but for the team, because There were 3 events. The individual, yung mag-isa ka lang. Then the doubles, where tandem with your partner, yung men partner mo. Then third is the team, where tatlo na kayo. Yung with your tatlo na, with the kasama na yung girls sa event. So we finished very respectfully in all categories. Sa team, we were 2nd overall. Sa doubles, we were 3rd. Sa individual, I was 4 out of 30 drivers.
Finally, Estefano Rivera has this to say about his breakout performance in 2019.
Through 2019, it's taught me to take things more seriously, but one step at a time. There's a lot of exposure in races there, pero you have to take it, as for me, as it's your last. Be serious and to be devoted in each race, to take everything seriously. To wrap it all up, siguro, it was a big step in my racing career, because not just with the victories, but also my experiences. And it's a springboard for me to not just do better nationally in the upcoming years, but also hopefully internationally. I want to thank, of course, my team, my sponsors for the year. My accomplishment in 2019 will be possible without them. First of all, in circuit racing, Avengers Racing, specifically Mr. Cosco Oben, my boss, for sponsoring me and having faith in me to do well, and to eventually we won the championship in the Formula V1 series. And also to the team, my coach Roland Hermoso, my manager Paulo Agregado. And moving on, going to slalom, I want to thank Race Motorsports for continuing to make slalom a great series for everyone. It's been here for 30 years now, I believe, and it's continued to grow and being successful and keeping slalom racing a great national sport for us. So I want to thank Tita Bingbang Dulce and to Tito Lito as well. When it comes to Gymkhana, I want to thank AAP, Mark Casales, and my coach, Coach Ivan, and my other coaches, Coach Tenny, Coach Norris, and to my teammates. So I want to thank, of course, my family rin, my parents, for kahit matandaan na kami, they're still supporting us in our racing career. And of course, I want to thank Motoring Today. Of course, continue to cover our races, B1, slalom, parang sinusundan yun na ako every race. So thank you very much, for today, for inviting me. And lastly, I want to thank, of course, God, of course, above all. Without Him, none of this would even be possible.
Now fully out of his brother's shadow, expect Estefano Rivera to defend his Slalom King title in 2020. He also would like to compete in the Philippine GT Championship, as well as continuing to represent the country in the AAGC. More in the world of motorsports here on Motoring Today, as we now give you Race Weekend. The Super Sprint Series made a successful debut last year, drawing lots of true amateurs looking to try their hand at organized racing. It debuted late in the year, holding 3 rounds at the tail end of 2019. Race Weekend was there for the final round. The new Super Sprint Series has come to its final leg of the season here in May-Kawayan Commercial Complex. Let's go check it out. The Super Sprint Series debuted last year with a great number of entries, most of whom were true amateurs or novices at organized motorsports. This was just fine for the event's organizers who wanted to provide a venue for a beginner that was accessible, affordable, and a lot of fun. The series also attracted intermediate racers, those who have been entering, off and on, other motorsports grassroots events like autocross and slaloms, as well as the up-and-coming stars who can't resist another new opportunity to compete or to further hone their skills. The series just held 3 rounds in its inaugural year, the last, round 3, in December. As the first 2, it was another well-attended event. A lot of them newbies returning for another taste of super sprint racing, as well as a sprinkling of intermediate racers and rising stars, including Cody Nang. We're here with one of the younger drivers here at the Super Sprint Series, Cody Nang. Hi Cody, thank you again for joining us.
Hi, Motoring Today, I'm Cody Nang.
So, what are your thoughts about the relatively new Super Sprint Series? Totally different league, but kind of similar to the disciplines that you join?
For me, Super Sprint is a good start for the newbies who wants to join racing, and newbies are welcome here. The track layout is very easy for the newbies and for the professionals also. For me, the weather is good for this race day.
Can you give us any similarities, of, if there are any, to autocross and slalom?
For me, the difference of autocross and super sprint is more newbies talaga. The track is very easy compared to autocross, but autocross is also a good start for newbies or who wants to join racing.
Napansin ko sa track layout, it's kind of high speed, less turns, more straights. Is it really, I mean, for the newbies, is this an easier track layout for them?
I think so. Siguro yes, kasi the straights is very easy lang naman. Then the pylons, the chicanes is very maluwag lang naman. Medyo technical lang siya, but enjoy. It's fun.
Many of those new to Super Sprint joined after learning about the series from friends, like Kevin Gonzalez, who basically is using the series to prepare himself and his car for the Sparko Cup.
Actually, nung round 2 lang ako ulit sumali. Tapos, in-invite lang din ako ng friend ko, si Froilan. And then yung sila Cody, nakilala ko rin sila sa Togi Battle. So, dun ko nalaman yung Super Sprint. Yung last round, naka-time ako ng 102. So, nag-second place ako last time. So, ngayon medyo marami akong issue sa kotse. So, naka-104 ako. Hindi ko alam kung makaka-place ko yun. Pero, okay naman. Maganda yung track layout. Beginner-friendly. Kaya, para sa amin. Ayusin ko muna yung mga ibang issues pa. Kasi, actually, ginawa kong parang training ground yung second round and third round para sana maka-join ako sa mga Sparko Cup for next year.
In turn, Kevin invited other friends to try out the sport, like John Jergy Reyes.
Nalaman ko yung Super Sprint dahil sa kaibigan ko, si Kevin, dahil sa kanya. And siya yung madalas dito, tapos in-invite niya ako.
Jergy is a true newbie. What was his closest exposure to motorsport?
Wala, more on na lang. Simulator, kasama mga kaibigan ko. Tapos more on car shows, ganyan. Tapos nanonood din ako ng mga race, Vios Cup, ganyan.
Will he be racing more on actual tracks than on-game consoles?
Future plan, sana makasali pa rin ako sa Super Sprint next season, sa mga next na events ng Super Sprint. And then, yun, sana mas marami tayong makakilala sa car community, lalo na sa mga Super Sprint community.
Another newbie to Super Sprint is Migo Calion, who enjoyed the race format and the course designed for beginners, but which nonetheless remain challenging and fun, and provides opportunities learning new and honing old skills.
Super Sprint, so much fun, have so friendly environment, and yung track layout is for amateurs and beginners. So it's highly recommended for all the amateurs and the beginners to try this one, and it's a competitive friendly. So yeah, it's having fun to try it out. Yeah, I have joined the round 2. That's my first time, and this was my second time. Based from an experience from the previous and this one, trained me well as a driver.
The Super Sprint series is also providing racing teams opportunities to invite new members and more opportunities for regulars to enjoy organized motorsports.
This series is actually was designed by, I believe, Robert, which is who is a good friend of ours. It was designed for beginners, should I say, or novice drivers, so they can get a feel of the formal race event. As of the moment, we have our team. So it's like a conduit for us to also invite other aspiring racers to have a feel and to have a structured team, to join a structured team. So our team is planning to join other races next year. So basically it's Super Sprint for one, autocross, and then we believe we would also want to join the slalom. Some of the guys, the new guys, are very interested in slalom races.
Racing team also appreciate the super sprint format as well as how organizers strictly implement safety and competition rules.
Basically, we're really happy to have the super sprint event because of Robert, and they have come up with the event na mag-hone doon sa mga gustong mag-try ng motorsports. This is the first, basically magiging training nila if they want to venture into autocross, slalom, and yung mga other big events. First of all, the track layout is really safe. Ang ganda niyang takbuhan. Then the organizers are really strict about the rules and regulations, and of course the safety. Yun ang pinaka-priority concern nila. Our plans for next year is to join the the whole season of Philippine Autocross, Super Sprint, and then some of my teammates were planning to join Slalom and Sparco Cup.
It seems that all those who have tried Super Sprint are looking forward to more Super Sprint rounds this year, and this should be no surprise to organizers. And that does it for our coverage of the final round of the 2019 Super Sprint Series. Catch us again next week for more race weekend action. The turnout for the final round of its inaugural season augurs well for continued success of the Super Sprint Series in 2020. It also augurs well for the continued growth of Philippine motorsports as a whole. That's this week's World of Motorsports. Motoring Today continues right after this break. Welcome back to Motoring Today. The auto industry now takes center stage.
Motor Image has introduced 3 new Subaru models at the recently concluded Singapore Motor Show 2020. The lineup includes the Forester e-Boxer, Forester GT Edition, and Impreza. As presented, the all-new Forester e-Boxer has a self-charging, mild hybrid e-Boxer system. This combines battery-powered electric motor assistance with 2 of Subaru's core technologies, Boxer engine and symmetrical all-wheel drive.
The Subaru e-Boxer will be the first model in the Philippines lineup to have hybrid technology, and we are very excited to bring it by the second half of the year, as it will be a good alternative for Filipino buyers who want fuel economy and want to be eco-friendly.
Motor Image has also launched the Forester GT Edition. It is the second GT Edition model being offered in Singapore with a special aero kit, which has 4 well-made and integrated elements. Both the Forester e-Boxer and Forester GT Edition are equipped with the new 8-inch display audio system with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto connectivity, and a 360-degree around view monitor system, which enables drivers to park and maneuver with ease. Meanwhile, the new Subaru Impreza has an improved styling, convenience, and mechanical upgrades. It sports a revised front and rear fascia, inclusive of new LED headlamps and blacked-out tail lamps, new 17-inch wheels, a speed-sensitive door lock, and rear seat reminder feature, a newly added SI drive function, and retuned suspension. The new Subaru Visiv Adrenaline concept was also highlighted during the Singapore Motor Show 2020. Its first concept vehicle designed under Subaru's new design philosophy.
For future Subarus, we are also displaying the Subaru Visiv concept, the SUV edition, which is paving the way for the new design language of Subaru for the future models. 2020 should be an exciting year for Subaru. As mentioned, we will be introducing the Forester GT Edition, the e-Boxer, and the big surprise, another SUV come second half of 2020. We hope that all Subaru fans will be waiting for it and anticipating the new models, as they are sure to bring great surprises.
Solidifying its position as one of the Philippines' most prominent multi-brand automotive distributors, the AutoHub Group launches its own smartphone app, the AutoHub mobile app.
AutoHub Group is very proud to announce that we are the first automotive dealership to launch the AutoHub mobile app, because we found out that customers have difficulty sometimes calling the dealership, especially during peak hours. And then to call the dealership, sometimes if there's so many people incoming calls, then the operator cannot handle all the calls at the same time. And then sometimes transferring to the reservations department is also a challenge. So we thought to cut the process, the best would be through an app, since technology now is the thing and everybody has their cell phone. So I don't know any car owner that doesn't have a cell phone. No, so that would be great that, you know, we have an AutoHub app, so for them to set an appointment without talking to anyone, just download the app, and cuts the long process to a very short period of time.
Designed to enhance customer experience and engagement, the AutoHub mobile app allows customers to seamlessly book an after-sales service appointment with just a few taps on their mobile devices and monitor the real-time service status of their vehicle. The AutoHub mobile app comes in user-friendly Android and iOS applications, equipped with a social media-inspired aesthetic and user experience. Users can use the app easily by registering a valid email address or Facebook account. According to the company, they will continue to give their loyal customers innovative solutions, quality products, and reliable services. In celebration of its 5th anniversary, Club Ertiga Philippines held a General Assembly in Pasay City. New members were invited to bring their cars, and Club Ertiga Philippines stickers were put on their preferred side of their unit. Meanwhile, Ertigal's stickers were put on cars of the women counterpart of the club. The new members were then oriented on club policies and guidelines. The club, which started in 2015, has grown exponentially, with members coming from all over the country, and has continued to grow even more.
Many people are already looking at the Ertiga as a good car, and then they're looking to find some sort of support system for the car, so they try to join a club that will be beneficial for them. So basically, Club Ertiga is getting bigger and bigger.
For the past years, the club has been organizing activities and events that help their members with concerns related to their Suzuki Ertiga units, as well as for the community. These include feeding and calamity programs, elderly support, and other charitable events.
When we see that there is an opportunity to help, we try to gather everybody and give highlight to that occurrence or to that instance, and if they can help, we provide a channel for them to help. To all owners of Suzuki Ertiga, I would like to invite you to join Club Ertiga Philippines. We are found almost anywhere in the Philippines. You can see our club sticker. You can officially enter the Club Ertiga Philippines world by joining our FB page.
Our Car of the Week is next on Showcase, courtesy of Prudential Guarantee. Our featured vehicle this week is the nameplate's newest offering, a fresh and competitive one, that is. Watch this. That was the 2020 Toyota Corolla Altis 1.8D Hybrid CVT, coming in with fresh, intensified, and reliable features. Our featured vehicle in this week's showcase, courtesy of Prudential Guarantee.
Drive worry-free with Prudential Guarantee's auto insurance program with a free 24-hour nationwide roadside assistance included with your comprehensive auto insurance. Rest assured, we'll take care of you and your car wherever you are. Prudential Guarantee's auto insurance program, 100% worry-free driving.
We now have our public service segment brought to you by Honda Cars Philippines.
This week on Public Service, we will not highlight a problem, but a problem that's now solved. Back in 2018, we reported about a footbridge in Pasig City that has defective post lights. These are very important for pedestrians and commuters at night for their safety and comfortability as well. We returned and we are happily reporting to all of you that the post lights on the said footbridge are now working. Not only that, officers from the Public Order and Security of the City of Pasig can be seen in the area maintaining peace and order.
Dati talagang dito, dati talagang madilim dito ma'am. Ngayon, nilagyan na natin yung ilaw ng detail ma'am. Para at least pag tumatay yung mga tao, hindi sila natakot sa ilaw na eh.
What a good way to start the year. This year, we're hoping to report more of the solved problems and solutions more than a problem itself.
That's our public service segment from Honda Cars Philippines. And may we remind you once again that if you come across any motoring issue or problem that you deem as unsafe or inimical to the general motoring public, which you would like us to highlight on this portion or to refer to the proper authorities for appropriate action, please feel free to let us know about it. Take a look at your screens for our contact details. And that's the week that was in motoring. Thank you for joining us.
If you missed some portions of our show today or any of the past episodes of Motoring Today, you can watch us online on motoringtoday.ph anytime today at your convenience.
Also, don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter and Instagram.
Until next week here on Motoring Today, now in its 33rd year of continuing service to the general motoring public with lifelong commitment to promote road safety. On behalf of Butch Gamboa, our dad, I'm Ray Louie Gamboa.
I'm Susie Gamboa.
Happy motoring!